Brr, oh boy, it sure has been getting chilly out here. So, yeah, it was very cold this morning. So I really had to, layer up for almost the entire workout. There may be moments here and there where I got a bit more hotter. But yeah, I did weighted dips, and so everything else, every other movement, um, I kind of did that would support me getting stronger at weighted dips, like doing some tricep work, doing some shoulder work, doing some chest work. So that led me to do yeah, I did also lift weights. I did overhead pressing. I did some tricep push downs. So that's just stuff that I'm mentioning. So I got a kind of like a topic to talk about in the comments, and they asked on how do you stay consistent with working out, and he wanted me to give advice in the next video, or in whichever next video I would upload. So my advice for staying consistent is kind of to have like a goal or some type of reason to work out, some type of motivation, at least some type of motivation at first. So for me, when I first started working out, it was because of a breakup. So the kind of like classic thing that someone might do after getting out of a relationship, they might start working out and whatnot. And at some point, I started to see the results. I started to see the changes in my body, my energy, my mood, things like that started to change. And so after seeing those actual adaptations, when it came to my strength, when it came to my just endurance, performance, my muscle growth, especially my muscle growth, that's what motivated me to keep going, because I ended up falling in love with working out, with exercise, with training. So, but like that might not work for everybody. Some people might just be motivated here and there, but they don't have a reason. So, if you have an actual reason, like there's some type of goal or achievement that you want to strive for, then you would want to work for that, right? Maybe you want to be the best swimmer, so you do any and every type of exercise that would be useful to you to become a better swimmer, and that way you become fit. So therefore, maybe you're not too focused on wanting to build muscle. You're more focused on just becoming the greatest swimmer you can be. But if you do want to focus on building muscle, and you kind of like the bodybuilding aspect, I'd say, of training, of working out, then definitely go for it. And that's definitely a goal to strive for. Because for me, that was kind of like my reasoning at first when it came to training, or at least after I kind of got over my that past relationship. So it was kind of like, oh, I want to build muscle. I want to be aesthetic. I want to like do this, do that, or look like this. But now it's kind of become a bit more performance based. I'm kind of more interested in, like, let's say how many reps I can do in a pull up, or how well I can do a movement, like how well my form is. Especially, I'm especially focused in on form. But again, like sometimes some days can just be harder than others. There can be things that happen in life where we might fall off, or we might not be as dedicated to a certain goal, or to just certain physical aspects of ourselves. And those can be a lot harder to fix, because we're human and we have emotions, and we might just feel a certain way. But one thing is that you would want to work out regardless, if you enjoyed the way you worked out or how you worked out, things like that. So the way you can enjoy working out and wanting to actually work out would be by, first of all, finding some type of thing to strive for in your training to help you. I'd say to, well, not help you, but to allow you to want that goal, and want to almost train for it every day, like where you're like counting the minutes, you're counting the hours, you're counting the seconds until you are able to work out. And so by doing that, that will just kind of make it a lot easier for you to want to work out, especially on days where You might feel more tired, or days where you're not really feeling it, things like that. Some days you're gonna be stronger than others, but as long as you have the desire, the fire for whatever it is, whatever type of goal you want to achieve, then go for it. That could be wanting to get the biggest weight to pull up, ever. That could be wanting to get 50 muscle ups in a row. That could be wanting to get, I don't know, like a really fast sprint. Whatever the case may be, just train to your standards. Find something that you do that you would like to do that's enjoyable, that is fun, whether that be like even just training to be a better tennis player. It doesn't matter. And you're going to see the changes. If you specifically, you want to have like a jacked physique, but you don't want to make it, I don't know, so focused on bodybuilding, then you should probably like do something where you're going to get a jacked physique regardless. Like maybe you should get into like, Olympic ring gymnastics or something like that, because those guys are pretty jacked. Maybe you should get into doing calisthenics. um you know Calisthenics guys are jacked. Maybe even football, American football, where like, most football players, almost all football players are like pretty jacked and almost pretty lean too. So, and in that way, when you, let's say you are training just to build muscle, or for bodybuilding, you kind of don't have much of a goal. Your goal is to look bigger and be bigger. And when that was kind of my goal, just to kind of put on as much muscle as possible, I feel like for one, it took up so much of my time, like so much of my time and mental energy. So it's like I didn't have the capacity to kind of think or focus on anything else, because it was purely just wanting to do any and every exercise just to squeeze out all the gains as possible. And it's kind of like arbitrary in a way, because it's like you're going to measure yourself, in terms of your strength, not your strength, but your muscle size compared to, who, right? Compared to you in the past, or compared to Arnold Schwarzenegger, or compared to your friend, right? So at some point you're gonna want more and more and more, and then that can just cause body dysmorphia, because like you think you're not big enough, or you think you're not progressing fast enough. But if you are, let's say, focused on some type of performance based goal, whether that be with strength, endurance, speed, whatever the case may be, I think that kind of allows for you to, train with a lot more purpose. That's just speaking for me personally, because I found that every time I found myself kind of bodybuilding training, I kind of ended up not caring too much about it. I would just kind of have phases of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do these movements and build so much muscle, and then, let's say after a month or after 2 months, maybe 3 months, I'm just like, I'm not really feeling this anymore. I kind of want to, I guess I wanted to have more substance. I wanted to have more purpose. And again, if you are a person who purely wants to train for building muscle, that is absolutely fine. Whatever is going to get you healthy, whatever is going to get you fit, whatever is going to, get you to have better lifestyle choices, then, go ahead, by all means, do what it is that you have to do. And if that allows you to stay consistent, then it allows you to stay consistent. So kind of like, the whole video, the moral of the story is you stay consistent by training in a way that you think is enjoyable, not by a way that you saw on social media that you thought looked cool. You have to really try and experiment and see what it is that you like personally, because you might not train the same way as your favorite Instagram influencer, or whatever the case may be, right? So find a way to train that you find enjoyable. Set goals for that, for that style of training, and then therefore you can achieve it. Make sure these goals are goals that you actually want to achieve, and they're like realistic, but they're on like the high scale of like realism. So they're like almost unattainable, or almost unachievable, but someone has done it. Someone in your similar situation has done it. So therefore, you can do it as well. And one thing is, once you go at it for long enough and you actually do see results, for the most part, that's gonna want you to keep going. So you kind of have to get over like that hill of like, where you're doing everything but you're not getting anything back, at least not yet, in terms of like, strength and muscle gain. And then once you get to that point to where you're like, okay, I can see some more definition in my arms. Okay, I can do 8 pull-ups now instead of 2. So, once you get to that point, trust me, you're gonna want to keep going, right? Unless you get some type of injury or you get sick or something. But you're gonna like, once you see results, you're gonna want to keep going. You're gonna want to be consistent. Once you train for a goal, you're gonna be more consistent. See ya.